Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James. And today we're going to be starting a new book, Instructive Chess Miniatures. I really enjoyed this book. And the first one we're going to start off is definitely a jewel. Anderssen versus Duquesne, the Evergreen game. Webster's Dictionary says, no, I'm just kidding. No, the Evergreen is such a really cool game. The Evergreen is apparently a plant that's just evergreen. It's just a beautiful plant, and this is definitely one of the first games that at least in history, as far as I know, that really is an evergreen. It's just a beautiful game. It's a staple, and it's by Anderssen, one of the main opponents of Morphy. It didn't do as quite as well as he wanted to, but hey. As you can see here, the pawn on e4 is already ready. This is the romantic era, meaning everyone's just attacking. And if it comes to only attacking players, Anderssen was definitely the king of that. As you can see, we have that fun little quote right there. Attack, always attack. That was one of Anderssen's famous quotes. Let's see how this game goes. Start off with e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6. Everything nice and easy right now. Bishop c4, the Italian. Bishop c5, and just like Anderssen before him, just like Morphy. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and play b4, the Evans Gambit. Oh, I love this opening. You're sacrificing one pawn on the wing. It seems a little bit weird, but the idea is you want to play c3 and d4, so you're just getting a free tempo for it. After bishop takes, of course, we get a free tempo with c3, and the bishop retreats to a5. Of course, if you do go back to c5, you move the same piece 3 times, and you're going to be moving it again after d4 gets played. So, of course, let's not waste the tempo. Bishop a5 gets played, definitely one of the best moves in this position. And, well, d4 gets played anyways. This is the mainline theory. This is the best way to play. Pawn takes on d4. If you don't, white just will take back. And then here we're just going to go ahead and castle. And here an interesting idea, d3 gets played. There's been a lot of moves here trying to figure out what to do with this pawn because, well, white's threatening to take it back. And they'll have this perfect center here. Well, gosh, this is such a hard position for them. They really can't take the pawn. Taking the pawn gives white an advantage with something like queen b3. You're going to win back the pawn anyways, and it's just a waste of tempo right here. Some ways that black can try to play this position is, of course, development, right? Just play knight f6 here. I think back in the day people were a little bit afraid of this move because e5 gets played, but here you have this really beautiful idea, pawn to d5. And this is actually very typical in a lot of Scotch games too. Of course, if you take, well, we're just going to take here on c4. We got this beautiful pawn center. Pawn takes on g7. Rook goes to g8. Rook e1 check. And then we could just go bishop e6. And you see that this is not looking so bad here. Although black has this kind of messed up pawn structure, of course he's going to be playing something like queen d7. He'll castle queenside. Yeah, this is not bad at all, right? Well, anyways, back to the main game. He tries to solve this by playing pawn to d3. He knows that the queen going to b3 is definitely the best square for it because you get a free tempo by attacking on f7. So he tries to divert either the bishop or the queen. Well, Anderssen's not a man that falls for these kind of things so easily. Let's just keep up our development. Queen b3 anyways. Of course, we're attacking the pawn on f7 over here. And yeah, f7's being attacked. Let's go ahead and defend it. Queen to f6 gets played. A good and bad move. Yes, f7 did get defended, but now the queen's out a little too early. And Anderssen will not miss any tempos to start harassing this queen. Remember, it's all about the attack now. This is the romantic era. Do you guys see the move here? Of course, let's start pushing this queen around. Pawn to e5. And, well, his opponent just goes ahead and plays queen g6. Is there something wrong with taking free pawns? Well, this is not a free pawn. If knight takes on e5, you just lost the game. Rook to e1, pin it, and win it. This goes on to many more complications where you're just winning. For those who are saying, hey, can't you just play d6? You can, but there's many ways here to win a piece. I think probably the easiest way that you can do this will just be something like knight takes on e5, d takes, and then queen b5 check, and you're going to be at least winning this bishop over here. Okay, so back to the game. Of course, we don't take this pawn. We play queen g6. Let's just keep up the development. Let's keep making threats. What's the next move we're going to play? Rook e1. The rook opposite of your opponent's king. Definitely a good idea. Although there's nothing right now, we're going to see how this plays a pivotal role later on for a nice tactic. All right, black plays a very good move. Knight to e7 here. Definitely getting ready to castle. All right, let's keep it up. What's the next piece we want to move? Bishop to a3. A very nice square for this bishop, especially in most of the Evans Gambit games, you can see this bishop really just cuts across the board, and a lot of times it'll even stop black from castling. You can see black is having a hard time playing d6 or f6 in this game because, well, these bishops are really just cutting through. I mean, for the price of one pawn, you can get this position. I'd give up 2 pawns, if not more, to get positions like this. All right, here we go. Black was definitely feeling the crunch here and plays a counter gambit, pawn to b5. This is one of those pawns that you just have to take. So yeah, we have to take it. Well, let's take it the best way. Queen takes on b5. The whole idea here, can you see why the pawn was gambit? How was black planning on getting a free tempo or developing a piece? Yeah, of course, he's just going to play rook b8, attacking your queen. The queen retreated to a4. Bishop to b6. It's always a good idea to not have your piece being defended by another piece. So bishop b6, now the bishop's perfectly fine being defended by multiple pawns. And then attacking over here in f2. You can definitely see that black has poised his pieces very nicely here too. All right, well, let's keep up the development, man. Remember, whenever you're attacking, you need all your pieces. At least a good attacker will do that. So the next piece is the knight. $1 million question, where do you put your knight to? Just made $1 million, of course, the only square, right? Knight b to d2, bishop to b7. And here we're going to start moving forward. Knight to e4. This is a very nice move, which creates some nice attacking chances. We're going to see how Anderssen does this. All right. Queen f5. A very strange move here. Definitely a blunder. Here, you're probably best trying to castle, although here even white still has a very good position. With that being said, he goes ahead and plays queen f5 here. I think he was trying to put pressure on this e5 pawn, not realizing that, you know, hey, this is not a pawn that you want to take. And now we get a very nice tempo here. Bishop takes d3. We finally win back the pawn, but we win back the pawn by making a threat. Do you see white's threat here? Again, if black's not paying attention, what would you play here? Of course, 2 simple moves here. The queen is looking to be attacked by this bishop, so either knight f6 or knight to d6 check here, attacking the king, and then we're going to win this queen over here. Okay, so black saw this, of course. Queen h5, you're not taking my queen. And here, it is time to attack. It's time to open up this game. What do you play here as white? Anderssen, definitely a master of attacking. Doesn't take long for him to find this beautiful idea. This rook really wants to attack the king, but, you know, there's pieces in the way. Simple idea, get them out the way. Here we go, knight f6 check. Well, I mean, if you don't take back, you're just losing, right? So pawn takes, pawn takes. Now you can see he's actually put himself inside of a beautiful pin on both sides over here. Black went ahead and played rook g8 here. And what's the idea here? Developing with the threat. Yeah, we're just going to take on f3. For those of you thinking maybe we should take this knight, it's not so simple. Taking the knight is really not the best for a lot of reasons. Of course, taking with the f-pawn is terrible because we got the umbrella pawn. Now your own pawn's in the way, so we really can't attack the king anymore because they're never going to try to attack that pawn. Bishop takes on e7. Not a bad idea. But here, knight e5 is such a crushing move here. You can see that all of black's pieces are really concentrating on this g2 square. It is now black who is in the attack. And of course, you could sacrifice a rook here, but I don't think that's quite necessary. Instead, he does the correct thing whenever you're attacking. Keep developing, keep bringing in more pieces, and he plays rook a to d1. Well, I don't know if you knew this, but whenever the rook played to g8, there was a threat here. And, well, black said free money and said queen takes on f3. Now, Anderssen finds a beautiful combination to force mate here. White to move. Remember, if it ain't check, it ain't right. How do we start this combination off? Okay. Feel free to push pause if you want to. Alright, here we go, here we go. Rook takes on e7. Check was played first. Knight takes, of course. And now we have a forced 4-move checkmate. Remember, if it ain't check, it ain't right. There's only one check in this game. This is why this is called the Evergreen. It's such a beautiful combination here. This is so beautiful for creativity. It looks like black is just on a very good edge. I mean, you only need is one tempo. He has checkmate on g2 with the queen, the rook, the queen, and the bishop. Ugh. All right, well, here he goes. Ready? Queen takes on d7, double exclam. Again, this is pretty much forced. You can't run to f8 or else queen takes e7 is just check and mate. You know what? I'll play bishop takes e7 because I'm classy, okay? Anyways, Queen takes d7. King has to take there. All right. What's the move here? Be careful. You can't just move your bishop because queen takes d1 is checkmate, right? Or at least going to be winning at least the rook. So you got to make sure it's a very strong attack. Yes, we are going to move this bishop, but make sure it's a good move. Here we go. Bishop f5 double check. And it doesn't matter what black plays here. It's going to be checkmate in 1 or 2 moves here. In the game, he played king to e8 and got checkmated in 2 moves. But here you can also look to play king c6. Can you find the checkmate in 1 here? Yeah, simple chess, just bishop to d7 here. I mean, this is a beautiful checkmate by itself. Although the regular checkmate, the checkmate we see in the game is far more beautiful in my opinion. King e8 gets played, and here you should be able to calculate the 2-move checkmate. Of course, bishop to d7 check, king to f8, and bishop takes e7 check and mate. A beautiful checkmate, and well dubbed the Evergreen game. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll be going over more games from this great book, Instructive Chess Miniatures. I'll see you in the next one.